Hi, everybody. My name is Chris True. I am in Lincoln, Nebraska this summer. Um, I have currently taught at the University of Nebraska for the last 5 or 6 years, teaching mostly Calc 208 or multivariable calculus. I've also taught some classes at Wesleyan. I taught a Calc 1 class there, and then I also taught a graduate level stats class for nursing students at Wesleyan. Um, Before that, I got my degree in math from the University of Nebraska. I went and worked as an actuary for a couple years and decided that I really wanted to go back and get certified to teach. So I went back and took 2 semesters of coursework and got my teacher's certificate and began teaching high school in Omaha at Creighton Prep back in 1989. Since then, I've moved from there to I taught at Norris School District, and then I also taught at Lincoln Public Schools at Lincoln Southwest High School. Um, and then I also worked for a grant out of Dallas, Texas. It was called the National Math and Science Initiative. Their mission was to increase the number of kids across the country taking and passing AP Calculus and AP Statistics and AP Computer Science classes. And my job there was the director of AP Math. Which in that position I was responsible for providing resources and professional development for teachers literally all over the country from New York City to Honolulu. I did that for a year, and after a year there was some shakeup in their funding, and I found myself without a job a few years back, and I went to the University of Nebraska and got picked up there full time and was going to do that for a year and then probably just go back to teaching at the high school, but I really enjoy teaching at the college level, and so I want to continue to do that. So my degree is in math, and I've got a master's degree in curriculum and instruction. In order for me to continue teaching at the college level, I need to have 18 credit hours of graduate level math courses, and this course is going to fulfill the last 3 credit hours that I need. I'm looking forward to this class. I'm hoping that I'm going to learn a lot in this course. I do a lot of work with statistics, and I'm teaching a couple workshops this summer for teachers. I'm doing the AP Stats reading in June in Kansas City in a couple weeks. And then I'm also teaching a couple of week-long workshops in Chicago, Minneapolis, and another one in Las Vegas, of all places. So let's see, an interesting fact about me. Well, I've got a busy family. My daughter's getting married this summer. My son is studying fishery and wildlife, and he's out on the East Coast this summer studying bats. My youngest daughter is a dancer at my wife's dance studio. Their recital is this weekend, and so it's been crazy around our house. My daughter is going to be going out to the University of Arizona, and kind of on a whim, I applied for a position out there to help with to pay for her college and pay for her tuition, and they offered me a job. So I am going to be moving to Tucson, Arizona this summer, early August. So there's lots and lots of things going on in our life right now. The last question here was how do I compare everyday mathematics to applied mathematics? There's been several times that my wife will say, honey, what's 15 times 87? And I say, I don't have my calculator with me. She says, well, aren't you a math teacher? And well, that's kind of everyday math, that she wanted to know, like, how many costumes does she have, how much money is it going to cost her to order a bunch of costumes for students or something like that. To me, that's not really, I think that's everyday math. Another thing I think is I was with my son at the hardware store one day, and there was a guy in the plywood aisle, and he was scratching his head, and he turned to me and he said, hey, did you pay much attention to your high school math classes? And I said, well, kind of. And he said, well, this seems like a lot of wood. And I said, well, what are you trying to do? He says, I'm trying to cover the walls of my garage. And so I said, well, what are you doing? And he was going to have to order a couple semi loads of wood to do what he was trying to do. And I said, well, what are you trying to do? And he says, I just want to cover all the walls. And I said, well, what you're really doing when you're calculating this is you're trying to fill up the entire garage with wood. And he's like, oh, yeah, that's right. That's volume. And I said, so we need to fix this. And so I helped him figure out how much wood he was going to have to order. Um, so I think that that's everyday math. I think applied math is really, statistics is a hotbed for applied math where you're creating models to calculate some probabilities, to do some forecasting with linear regression or exponential regression. Um, I think also with applied math, it's an opportunity for us to kind of embrace variability that is natural variability in sampling distributions and things like that. So I'm looking forward to a course that is going to give me some more applications of that. So anyway, I'm happy to be enrolled in this course and looking forward to the work we've got ahead of us in the next couple of weeks. So I'm hoping to meet you all sometime, and I will see you then. All right, bye.